Yeah. There we go.
All right. Well, this is going right in the trash can.
And we can just start riffing from here.
Do we know how many days the drought was? I mean, is this measurable today?
Yeah, this one's going to count. I think it was 160, maybe 159.
160 is the record in 1972. I just don't. I know we're close, and I think if it would have rained on Monday,
Right.
we would not have gotten it. But I don't know. It might be 158, 159. I don't know. It's 160-ish, 158, 9 days without measurable rainfall in Phoenix
Craziness.
until today.
We got a nice little drizzle, though.
I mentioned this at the peril of we want, when we pass things, we want everybody's vote
Yes.
for the legislature. But there was a hearing yesterday on and banning it, and it got through that committee. And there was impassioned testimony about.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't. We can start over, but I'm just gonna finish my thoughts. If you think that, so, all right, I guess
Yeah.
there's a good chance there'll be. I don't.
Hey, Rob.
Oh, we didn't do the lights. Good thing we didn't do the lights.
Oh, boy.
God. Arizona is a wildly beautiful place, brimming with over 100 brewing companies. I'm Rob Fulmer, the Director of Government and Community Affairs for the Arizona Craft Brewers Guild. I'm joined by Executive Director Andrew Bauman. Together we cover the state, bringing you the best of what's happening at our breweries and beyond. Welcome to Arizona Beer Frontier.
Well, hey, let's get into it. Hi, Rob.
Andrew Bauman.
Good to see you, friend. This is 2 days in a row.
Yes, it is. Apparently, it rained today.
There was rain. It was 159 days.
For everybody who's not familiar, you can look it up. I was going to
don't wanna look
bloviate.
at it. I'm not going to find
The
it.
record is 160 days of no rain, no measurable rain. It was 1972, so a good little record there. And we were at 158, 159, maybe 60. Regardless, it's first or second in a lot of years. Right?
Yeah.
Measurable rain. So yeah, it rained. I think a lot of people would look at the amount of rain we have in the parking lot and whatnot and go like, "It's not rain." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, for us, that's rain. It's okay. We'll take
I'm
it.
playing around with the equipment here.
Oh, boy.
Well, no, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to make a lot of noise and
Not worth it.
yeah. So I mean, that's important. We rely on rain. Here's the thing. We're only like I'm going to guess this is just trace measurability. I mean, it wasn't a lot, was it? I mean, did it rain hard by you?
No, I mean the most rain I got was when I was here, like at my house. No, we had a little bit. On Monday we had 0.01 inches in my rain gauge on the back in the backyard, and then this morning woke up to also 0.02 inches, and
Right.
then it's been raining today at the house.
0.02.
Yeah, 0.02.
So I mean, we might have a tenth of an inch.
100th of an inch at Sky Harbor Airport. So the streak is over. 159 days it ended at. Didn't get to 160, so we didn't get to break a record. No.
But we're only 2 inches below normal. which just tells you like we can get that in one day.
Last year, Flagstaff had 27 inches of snow by this time, and this year they have 2.7.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what does this mean for our breweries? Well, it means potentially if you had events, you had smooth sailing, more or less. I mean, although what kills events more than rain is wind.
Right.
High winds. High winds will shut you down. It can be perfectly sunny. You can see photographs of the aftermath of an Oktoberfest that happened here a couple of years ago.
Right.
Gilbert. Sunny day, tents all over the place.
Mm.
You've seen the video, the tragic video of the children playing in the bounce house that was unsecured, and it's several stories in the air, some fatalities. I mean, like the
Yikes.
wind. I think between Tucson and Flagstaff, they always have a shitting match on who has the most wind.
We had 15-mile-an-hour winds on Monday,
Yeah.
but they were up to 40 to 50 in the mountains. So
Right.
that's some wind.
So snow is important for northern Arizona, specifically the ski areas in the White Mountains and Flagstaff. There is a ski hill. There is a alpine conditioned mountain in Tucson too. I don't know how that does for skiing.
This year it has done nothing. They haven't had any snow.
Right. So we are in the things that you saw in Los Angeles in terms of the Santa Ana winds, that we are susceptible to winter fires when it's dry. When it rains regularly, it's not as big of a deal, but you get the strong winds, you get the very dry conditions. When if we do get rain, if we get late rain, we will get a growth spurt because these plants are smart, man. They're like, we have to grow all the things we can grow on
Right.
this.
And then you get a very heavily vegetated forest floor that just then dries out when we
Right.
get to May and June, and bingo.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
those things, yeah.
So
That story is old as time.
yeah, I think agriculturally we're probably going to dip into whatever gains we had last year from the wetness. So that maybe there'll be some more pressure in the legislature to get some things done. I still don't think we have a pact with the other states where it comes to Colorado water. I think there were some overtures by the tribes to sell back water rights. I just don't think it solved it, right? I think everyone's like, "Ooh, it rained, so now we got more time." They punted essentially, right?
Ooh, it rained.
Yeah,
I don't know. Contrails get knocked out by rain too. Ask the Arizona legislature.
yeah. Geez, you brought that up. Yeah,
Well, just for a second, just now that our wacky legislature is back in session,
yeah.
they're
Well,
doing wacky Arizona legislature things.
Yeah, they are. But we need every vote, so maybe we'll just.
Let that sit in the air. Okay, that's fine.
Because I do want to bring up a bill that is in the liquor a liquor bill, about allowing golf courses to BYO, and I know just about everybody who drinks beer is like, oh, that's awesome. I don't have to pay $12 for a beer, $10 for a beer. I think. I don't want to question the motives. I guess there was a golf tournament that a couple legislators were at, and they were trying to understand why that wasn't a thing. And
Someone said, "Hey, dude, we don't sell that. What are you doing?"
there are signs that say you can't bring it in because it is a liquor violation,
It's a
which
licensed
is
premise,
true.
yeah.
And I think that's what sent them is like, oh, there's a literal law against this. And what I guess maybe they understand. Maybe this is a way for us to talk about them because this is outside of the areas that they normally are comfortable what they're known for in terms of what specialty of law. But although they're all lawyers, apparently, I think maybe they don't understand that that's a liquor license. And yes, it has more rights than a regular bar in terms of like, if you're at a regular bar and you have a patio and someone brings in some outside alcohol, you are going to be clipped for not controlling your premise. I don't think they would come out and visit you at a golf course unless it was widespread. I think if a cop saw you on a golf course and they got to the level of where did you get that, because they would have to understand that that's not a product. Oh, Jesus. That's not a product available to be sold. We just lost the camera. That's not a product. So then, I just don't see that happening on a golf course. Maybe I'll just pause here. It'd be so weird why it just kind of shut down. Maybe it was never on.
Maybe.
Let me finish this thought. If you got to a golf course and somehow a cop noticed that you were drinking and discerned that the products you were drinking were somehow not for sale at that liquor license
Maybe you had
establishment.
a glass Corona bottle, and he knows they
Right.
don't put glass out on their
Yeah.
course because he golfs there.
We are. So it is enforced by the golf courses, but like, it's very unlikely that would happen. But if you're in downtown Mesa and you're in that little, you got to scooch across the sidewalk, which I always found kind of funny too. It's like, well, you're neutral territory between the liquor license essentially, because you
Yeah.
can't stand in the street
Right.
sidewalk and drink. A beat cop could say, hey, like, this is a beer bar. You got a handle of vodka
Tito's.
right on the table here. I'm like, that's not cool. You would get cited, but they may report to the liquor DLLC, and they may say you're not maintaining control of your space. So like, what's the answer? Like, well, we have staff, we have a doorman, right? But you can't really police that in the same way on a golf course, right? Resorts, same thing. We've talked about it. Like they get to have their cake and eat it too. They don't want to clip you for drinking in your room, but essentially that's on their liquor license too, because they sell room service things. How are they supposed to maintain your level of intoxication? But that's super hard enforced in a bar. So I get that. It's same thing with stadiums, right? Like they have rights beyond their liquor license that we don't have in terms of accepting marketing dollars because of the size of the venue and it has to be a certain kind of sport. It has to be a certain size of musical act. It has to not only be a one-time thing, it has to be persistent.
Regularly scheduled.
Yeah, so I get it, but I don't know. I think
BYO on a golf course sounds dangerous to me. Just saying.
well, it's one of those things where there are some things that are similar to what we might want to promote as a culture, maybe not as an industry. Like I would like to have beers that I can walk around with in the airport. It's similar. The law exists. I don't know if we have to cut through. If the business owner doesn't want to do it, though, we can't compel them. So
Right.
if the contract holder for a majority of those bars and restaurants in the airport, there might be a municipal thing that we need to slip through. But if they wanted to do it, I would help them do it. If they wanted to do it, they could. But maybe, they're assuming some more risk, right? The businesses.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been to plenty of airports where you can walk around with beers, but you're not going to walk around and go into another business with it,
Right.
right? You're just going to be on the concourse. You're going to be waiting in your gate.
Right. But again, some of those shared lounge areas, seating areas, like,
Yeah.
those are like flexible ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's directly in front of your place doesn't necessarily mean that you're ordering from someone's bringing over McDonald's from somewhere else or whatever.
Right.
But I talked to the city council about it just briefly and informally, and they were asking, well, what airports can you do this in? I said ORD, Chicago, BNA, Nashville, because they were like, oh, I don't know if the airlines would like this. I'm like, well,
Denver.
yeah. I'm like, well, they like it other places.
Right.
Apparently, I like it enough to have it either imposed on them or I don't know.
Vegas.
Those B&A customers, those ORD customers, they land in Phoenix too. So are they going to say it's a problem here, so therefore no one can do it at any other airport? No, of course not. I don't know. Wow, what a tangent I went on.
Oh, we went from rain to that.
I know.
That's amazing. Then
I just,
we have our minimum production level bill.
Yeah, I don't have a number yet, and I don't have a number for the hemp beverage bill.
Right.
And also the we need a catchy name for it. It's the festival license, right? Which everybody assumes is something that looks like strong beer, but that's not what a festival is.
No.
A festival license is so that you can sell beer at things like farmers markets or things that you put together that look like farmers markets to sell to go with some sampling,
Or like if you go to the
some on-site consumption.
Verde Wine Festival.
Yeah.
Lots of artisans there, wineries around the side. You can get samples, and you can buy bottles to go.
Yes. Yes.
And you can buy full pours.
Yes. Well, yes. It depends on the
I mean, the event organizer eventually gets to make that call, but
and the local governing body as well gets to
yes.
impose those things, which is fair. I don't think if we're in a sales situation that we want people treating it as a traditional beer festival. And this is where we're trying to provide some structure because culturally there are differences between the beer, wine, and liquor experience. People are accustomed to a modicum amount of tasting and buying to go.
Right.
You're getting a volume to go, right? You're getting, and you're helping out a small business. I think in the beer world, because like the large producers don't do that. They don't get to do this.
right.
Gallo doesn't come in and just
Sell
sell you
boxes.
boxes to go, right? So this is something that we should be exploring because, for all those that want an Arizona only experience or support small breweries, by law, it is in the province of small producers. What we don't have is this. I'm just going to sample and go. I'm not going to hang out.
Right. Experiences. Beer festivals are about the experience, not just the liquid.
Right. So
Festivals are just about the liquid.
So I think we need. I think we need this coordination by member-based trade groups to establish some norms on it. And the liquor department seems to be interested because it helps them. I've talked to people who represent bars and restaurants, and their fear is always that someone's going to set up literally across the street for them and sell competing products, which does happen to some degree. And an organization like ours would be more sensitive to that because we're not just selling one product; we're selling a bunch of products, and we want our breweries to be able to have a good relationship with that vendor, even if one particular brewery doesn't care about it. So that's where that's coming from. So I don't know. We need a short term a name for that. Is it the trade group beer festival? I don't know what it is. It's
Well, no, not beer festival because it's going to be all the 16s that encompasses all those products.
yeah. That was the other thing. It's all three separate statutes in separate areas, and their language is exactly the same except for the word beer, wine, or liquor, spirits. Yeah. So as long as I'm talking about that, whenever you see the word spirituous liquor,
Spirituous liquor.
in
I
a-
was just thinking that.
in a beer or in a bill or in state statute, it means beer, wine, and spirits. It doesn't just mean
Booze.
right. I think we're used to suggesting that spirits is that, but it's a counterpart to other types of alcohol, like that you would use for biofuel or burning,
Right. Right.
petroleum products. I don't, consumable. I don't know. Yeah. So
Non-consumable. I don't know. Yeah. So those are some. That's a little glossary for you there.
yeah,
A little glossary.
real convenient. So
Spirituous liquor means beer, wine, or spirits.
yeah.
Okay.
In the past, though, some legislators didn't even. So it was clear that they didn't understand that in the past. I don't know. I haven't quizzed anybody.
I mean, it
lately.
would make sense. We're turning over legislators all the time, and they're not getting to see
right.
those kind of bills on the regs, so it'll change. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. We had some news yesterday from Huss Brewing Company.
Yeah. I didn't get anything official.
No, but I saw a post from them that the Papago location and the Uptown location have closed
Oh, so you did get something official.
on the Facebooks.
Yeah.
And then Dynamite.
There's a thing called Facebook Official.
Okay.
You know.
Dynamite is Tap Room is taking over the Uptown location, and a place called Copper State Tap Room is taking over the Papago location. Couple changes there.
That's a trade name that's been used a lot. Somebody might want to claim that.
Everyone likes Copper State. It's true.
I mean, our only foray into this is we have the Copper State Cup, which is a actual physical.
Yes.
That's it. But there is a festival called that. There is a beer called that.
Yep.
In multiple states, but Haas had the Copper State
Yep.
IPA. Copper State. I mean, there's a ton of other non-alcohol businesses, but what was the other Copper State instance I just thought of? There was a brewery that wanted to open a second brand name that never got around to it. I don't know if that was part of the issue. Probably
Got
not.
Copper Brothel. We had Copper Mine.
Yeah.
Where's Copper? The one.
Copper Canyon.
Copper Canyon.
We had 2 Copper Canyons. One in Chandler, along a brewery that started in the late 2000s or early 2000s.
I used to go there.
But there was also one in Lake Havasu City. As, and then there was one in Michigan, and all of them are closed. So maybe don't use that.
There was so.
There was Copper Top in Prescott too,
Oh, yeah, that's true. I remember that.
also closed.
That was just for a second. Man, that was fast. That was like 2 months, I think. Well, we had a board meeting yesterday, and the main topic of conversation was to promote Arizona Strong Beer Fest.
Yes, there were some good ideas. I don't know which ones are gonna. I mean, hopefully you'll see more posts.
Yeah, well, that's what we've come down to is let's get more social media posts. Let's get our staff talking about it in-house.
Yeah.
Handed out some coasters. So, continuing to get the word out. We have about a little less than 3 weeks.
Yes, I'm hoping there will be some show us your ticket rewards of some sort coming out. Maybe it was discussed.
You really like that.
I do because you say, hey, I got a free ticket, or I got a ticket, I get $1 off my. This is an example. It has happened. We have done this. We have given away glassware through because of our ability to do that as a non-liquor license holding entity. What is that buzz?
I don't know.
We're wearing coats because it's cold in here, and I'm like, is this the heat coming on for the first time ever?
The thing said it's 72 over, but I don't think so. Anyways, Arizona Strong Beer Fest, that's a big part of what we're...
Yeah. So people would show it, and then, you at the bar go like, what are you talking about? What is that? And like, it's... How can I get on that deal? Like, well, you could buy the ticket. All right, I'm off
It's
that ticket.
really difficult. We have 70 breweries signed up from Arizona for Arizona Strong, and that's amazing. I had more breweries when I woke up this morning in my inbox signing up. So now we have 160 plus. When you're talking about, even if you're just talking about the Arizona breweries, coordinating a program across that many breweries is definitely a challenge.
Yeah.
Getting buy-in, like everyone want to participate, also like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So our own success sometimes makes it significantly more difficult to do the grassroots marketing type thing.
Yeah. And the social media algorithms are much changed.
I go on Facebook and Instagram just to look at breweries events coming up, or what are they posting?
Mm-hmm.
What's the news to see what's happening in Arizona beer? Some people send me stuff directly. Many people don't. So I'll just scroll, but that doesn't mean I'm seeing anything unless I directly go to breweries pages.
Yeah. And hashtags were a thing, and then they're not a thing, and then social media companies say, hey, you don't even need to use the hash anymore. But the search on some of this stuff is just terrible. Like, there's a difference between clicking on an actual hashtag than actually typing in and do a search entry. Like, there is a difference. So we had Choose AZ brews for many, many years, and I think people forget about it, or it's one of those things you put in there, and you're not gonna. You as a business aren't gonna know if that's what unified all the messaging together, and then if that actually helped you in particular. But it helps us as an industry if people use that, and people were using. There's a couple other local hashtags, and they're distributor driven. And it was funny that, I'd see
Drink local.
Yeah, I'd see someone use that. I'm like, that's not your distributor. Just saying.
You're sending, but yeah.
I mean, but there was also the prevailing theory, and I don't know if it's true or not, but like you find what the trending topic is and you put that in your thing no matter what, even if it doesn't apply. So, the royal baby.
Right.
Yeah. So great. Your stuff's now in
showing up to people who are not interested in it, but yeah.
A former British colony is like, what the heck? There's a festival in Arizonia. Tucson, Arizona.
You say you're from Tucson, but you talk all fancy and Europe-like.
This is the way we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
I just finished the What They Do in the Shadows.
Oh.
Yeah. Binged it.
Good.
So that's where I'm getting the...
Arizona?
Yeah.
Royal baby?
No, that's not.
I don't know.
You haven't watched this show?
No.
Okay. It's like The Office in the vampire world. Like direct look at the camera. They acknowledge the crew, and it's
I've seen maybe one or some clips of it. Oh, look at me, just
you just shrunk.
God, this chair.
How do you do that with your butt, or activate the down pressure thing on the chair?
Oh no, I think my foot hit it or something.
And, for the people just listening, Andrew somehow just shrunk 3
His-
inches
my
right in
chair
front of
just
me
went
as
straight
as we
down.
were talking about vampirism.
Yeah, whoa. I was on purpose.
Yeah.
Today we've got the Arizona Restaurant Roundtable. Melissa Anaya is going to be talking about marketing and social media for restaurants.
Yeah.
The Arizona Craft Brewers Guild is sponsored to be at this event through DLO,
Nice.
Bar Restaurant Insurance. It is put on by Baker Tilly, which is a large
Insurance.
insurance firm.
Yeah.
No, accounting
Counting.
firm, and also at the offices of the Arizona Restaurant Association.
I
So,
should say that they are. Oh, so we have like 15 minutes to get there.
yeah,
It's live and in person.
starts at 11:30.
Oh, 11:30.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we got about 15 minutes to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Just gonna casually, take my time with the next thought here. I have no idea.
Have there been any other beer news? I saw one that was the Nielsen NIQ says that beer volume's up 0.7% so far this year, and dollars are up 3%. The overall alcohol industry is up 3.9% in dollars, so a little behind. But Sierra Nevada is up 12%. Coors Banquet is up 20%.
Okay.
That's through January 18th. That's a very small sample size.
So I have some things to do at the Capitol, usually on Monday, because of a couple committees that I monitor, and it's a weird day to go out afterwards. I mean, listen, man, after sitting in a hot room, sitting through all kinds of bills, it's good to have a drink, and there are businesses that are clearly never ever open on Monday. Even before the pandemic, a lot of restaurants would be closed on Monday. But I usually hit Roosevelt Row, so there's a smattering there. But Paddle House opens a little later, but they're the place with food. Wilderness is open. Greenwood is open, no food. Oh,
Wilderness has food.
yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, yeah.
It's and like on a Monday afternoon when it's crowded, like, oh, they are getting convention walk-up business, or there is an organized thing happening. So it's a kind of like a bellwether on Monday, right? This time around, I went to Rent House and I ran into Matt and Sherry Engelhorn.
Oh.
And Monday is their day to get around.
Huh.
There's another person I know who gets out on Monday.
Do you want to share who Matt and Sherry Engelhorn are?
They are the owners of Angel's Trumpet.
Yes.
And we were just kind of talking about how they were one of the first downtown businesses, specifically that people paid attention to because of their craft beer selection. And they kind of hit the bounty of when there was a couple small distributors that received the catalogs of Shelton Brothers and a couple other, like at that time it was, I don't know, were they around for Alliance? They were around for Young's Market, or I don't know what they were called at the time. Like, is it?
Alliance became Breakthrough.
Okay. They were around when a lot of those larger liquor-centered, wine-centered distributors that are larger nationally that had beer catalogs that they kind of dumped on small distributors. So they had this constant churn of beer. I mean, that's neither here nor there. But that's why they were super, like, everybody knew about them. There was not a lot of focus. But there's a lot of stuff going on down there. And they are, you know, I mean, they were probably... Carly's is gone now because Carly's used to have like 12 Belgian beers, and we were just kind of
Right.
talking about all the changes and what's good and what's bad. But it was just good to catch up with them. I've run into them on other Mondays, so it's just a little vignette
That's
I'm
funny.
sharing with you all.
Yeah.
But we talked about hemp and how they might be on board for that when it becomes legal. So. It was good talk. You
Cool.
know, it's good to. I ran to Leroy. Do you know Leroy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ran into Leroy, and he literally was apologizing for not hanging out for another beer. I'm like, dude, man, you're good. I just
Right.
got here.
I'm glad that you're
He's so
still
nice.
out and about.
Yeah, no, he's so great. Anyway, sorry, this is random stuff here. I had to sit into a committee because we're considering amending or asking for an amendment to advertisement of THC products, and they. By the time the hearing came around, it was clear that they understood that there were people that were wanting to support the bill if it included some provisions for hemp beverages. And I think that discussion is going to happen. I signed in against on that reason. So did Gary from the distillers. Barkley did not sign in at all because he's probably a smarter lobbyist than me, Barkley with the distributors. But he has the same concern, obviously. And I think he's already had conversations. That's just how they operate versus us. Do you need to take that?
No.
Anyway, I sent in a bill on Alzheimer's. Super interesting. I know that people in my family probably have dealt with this, and I may be dealing with it soon. About how they wanted to redefine how someone could have that status so that they could receive benefits, because it's based only on a cognitive test and not on a function test. So
Right.
you can have the cognitive ability to explain why taking drugs on time are important and why you need to balance your nutrition. But if you forget to do it, or even if you knew all the operations, or you physically do the wrong thing, or you take it at the wrong time, like they don't take the action into consideration as much. So they want to have that spoken to, and they want to have the ability to have several different people that understand that person to be able to have some input into it. So it was interesting. That was run by the same legislator that was trying to get the advertisements locked in. That's the chair of that committee. Yeah, and also she is sponsoring. This is Representative Bliss, Selena Bliss. She is sponsoring the House version of the Don Bowles bill.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like two things that should be non-controversial.
They're running the Don Bowles bill
Yeah,
again.
and then they're running it in the House and Senate.
Great.
And this time, the agenda is not going to be a part of it. So they hope that that will get it through the necessary party chair to
Sure.
get
Cool.
it through. Anyway, so those are things that I learned just by sitting and waiting, reading all the bills, listening to testimony. So it's really super interesting and valuable. But like, there are some snoozers in there. I mean, when you talk about some of the finer parts of healthcare and billing and insurance, and like, and our friend Representative Wendinger is on that committee, and there's often housing things, and it's really hard to understand what incentivizes what. So in this case, with this advertising bill, the unintended consequences is what we're talking about. So if you write it too overly broad, like literally, I wrote a newspaper article about this, I was not promoting this per se. So like, don't come after
Could
us.
yeah, right. But it could.
We have a podcast, we have a following.
Yeah.
We can't do it. So this is where it gets super kind of
Yeah.
in the weeds, and culturally, again, expectations. One of the presenters showed, because they don't want to have it marketed to children. And, one of our colleagues brought up a point in Maine, this is a separate sidebar here, that they were trying to ban ice cream stouts because ice cream is for children. And I'm like, ice cream is for everybody. And I would say that a majority of the dollars spent on ice cream are coming from adults.
Right.
Or, and a majority of the, I guess the adolescent, and maybe not the audience that enjoys ice cream, is being supervised and being paid for by an adult. So I don't know. But in this case, he brought up, and I'm like, oh my God, a giant billboard of Santa and a bong. And it's not a choice that I think you should lean into, but think about, just like at home, Google bourbon and Santa, and you will see advertisements. You will see Santa Claus. Mr. Claus is a long association with the alcohol industry.
Sure.
And some of it is, I don't think a lot of people are leaning into it per se. But there
But
are.
where do you call that line? Like, what about a Christmas tree?
Literally at cost
Children
plus.
are very associated with Christmas trees.
Yeah. Literally at cost plus. They used to have this beer called Santa's Butt, Santa on it. There are Semmelklaus, the 12% lager from Czechoslovakia.
Mm-hmm.
Czech
Republic.
Yeah. Czechia.
Czechia.
They sell that here once in a while. I know I've had it at a festival. I know my wife and her friends got really drunk on it one time.
Is that last year?
Well,
I think they had it last
they
year.
had it last year. This was about 15 years ago.
Okay.
We were on bikes and we were on bikes in the pre-Uber era, so a bike had to go into a cab, and
That doesn't go
Yeah.
well. Yikes.
yeah. So I don't know how to address that, because we follow different rules for advertising alcohol. In fact, did you watch any of the football games? No. There is a commercial for Miller Lite. I don't know if it's Miller or Miller Lite, with the tattooed face guy. One of the tattooed face guys.
There's several.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll.
No.
God,
I sound like somebody's dad now.
Taylor Swift and I forget.
Yeah.
Fortnite.
Anyway, he was like, they're sitting in lawn chairs and they're drinking. They're like, he's a tattoo face guy about to drink. He's like, the other guy's like, you can't drink on a beer commercial. You have to wait. And they count down to 5, 4, 3, 2, and then it cuts right before they drink. So there is an awareness of what you can and can't do.
Post Malone.
Post Malone.
Oh my God, that was difficult.
I know. Well, the thing of it is he's got several personas. He's like David Bowie of tattoo face guys. Because he has this whole.
I saw another one yesterday on TV, and I was like, "Whoa! I guess that's what you have to do."
He's got this whole newer music vibe, but then he's got a Nashville roots of somewhat. Oh no, or I saw a video like of him in a guitar store and a documentary about this guitar store. And he was like, he looked like 10. I mean, I don't know. And he was playing guitar. He's like, yeah, I used to always play that same riff.
Speaking of beer commercials,
Okay.
Bob Uecker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Uecker died on the same day as David Lynch.
Yeah.
2 white-haired gentlemen, full head of hair.
Bob
I
Uecker,
noticed these
the-
things.
The face of Miller Lite.
Yes. Just a bit outside. Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites. Let's not go out on a sad note.
Oh, that's,
We're celebrating Bob Uecker.
yeah, of course we are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And all of his, what was his, Mr. Belvedere? Was that the TV
Yes.
show he was in?
Yes, yes.
That was the one he was on regularly. Major League, of course.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch the clips on that one. Oh man, they're so good.
He also was the Brewer announcer for many, many years. Played on several teams. What was his line? Yeah, I got minor league player of the year. Turned out though I was already 2 years into the majors.
There was, so the recruiter came over and told my dad that when I signed, it would be $3,000. And my dad said, I can't afford $3,000.
Yeah.
He said that a famous pitcher walked him. And he was very proud of that. He's like, look, he walked me because he
Right.
was so concerned about my ability to hit. And then I learned that the commissioner of baseball sent him a letter and said that if he ever does that again, he'll be messing with the integrity of the game and he'll be fined.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, we got to get out of here. We have important meetings today.
Right on time.
Thanks.
1 minute to go.
Baja Beer Fest is coming up too. Do you want to talk about that?
It's coming up.
Up, time's up.
It's coming up in Tucson.
Remember, this isn't a weather podcast. It's a podcast about beer. And sometimes the beer finds you.
Toast Malone. Toast Malone.